Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. In this video, young Gushu. In this video, I'm going to introduce this tea to you, I'm going to scope it, and we're going to taste it. This video is going to go under the Single Tea Tastings playlist. If at any point in time you enjoy this video, then please give the video the thumbs up. The more thumbs in the air, the more tea videos are going to come your way. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, then go click that button. So the link to purchase this tea will be somewhere around this video. If you've purchased this tea from us already, then thank you very much. And I hope that you can enjoy this session with me together. This is young Gushu. Let me give you a good shot of it. There you go. This is young Gushu. This is a young raw pu'erh tea. And it's December 2015. And if you ask me for my tea of the year this year, it would be this one. In fact, if you ask any of my friends who come visit me in my home to make them a cup of tea, most likely they would have tasted this tea, because this really, I've fallen completely in love with this tea. So we went to Yunnan province in spring this year. We've been many times, but this year I was adamant to try to find some good young fresh pu'erh. Now, pu'erh tea is renowned to age well, and for good reason. Past 8, 9, 10 years, the smoothness, the complexity of the tea is a wondrous thing, and people spend their hard-earned money on good old pu'erh cakes, or they age them themselves. But what a lot of people don't realize is that fresh, young, freshly picked raw pu'erh is delicious too, in a different way, but excellent tea. In fact, it commands a very high price at market, and then the price tends to dip once it gets to past 2 years old. And between 2 and 5, 6, 7 years old, the tea is kind of undergoing a process of change, moving from young, fresh pu'erh to starting to move to the aged stuff. I mean, if you asked me, I would prefer to drink young pu'erh tea compared to a 3, 4, 5-year-old pu'erh tea. And then once it gets past 6, 7 years, that's when we're starting to talk about a different kind of tea, and it's starting to get to a nice middle-aged tea, all the way to 15, 20-year-old aged pu'erh teas. So let's scope this tea. Scope is the acronym that we always use at Mayleaf to define the questions that you need to ask when you're purchasing tea. So scope of this tea. S is season. This is an autumn picked tea. So this is autumn 2015, as fresh as I could get. C, cultivar. Cultivar, this is from the Daiyezhong Asamaka cultivar, which is the classic cultivar used for pu'erh tea. Origin, this is from Jingmai in Yunnan province. Jingmai is a very famous area for good reason for pu'erh tea, but there are many, many mountainous areas in Yunnan, all with their own specific flavor profiles, which is why people enjoy tasting from different areas of Yunnan province. P, so we've done S, C, and O, so now we're on P. P is for the picking and processing. This is a raw pu'erh, and the pick on this is a bud and a leaf. So a bud and one leaf, so it's relatively young leaves. And the processing is just like any other raw pu'erh tea. They pick it, they wither it, they pan bake it, or they send it through cylinders or heated cylinders, so it dries, so it starts to bring the temperature of the tea up to about 130 to 150 degrees, which slows down the oxidation process. They then roll the tea out to release all the oils and bring that all to the surface, so that when you pour hot water over it, you get a lovely, vibrant, rich brew. And then they sun dry it. Very, very important, sun drying the tea. So they put it in shaded areas in the sun, and they dry it. So the processing is relatively simple compared to an oolong tea, for example, but still a lot of work. So the last on our scoping is E, and that's elevation, and Jingmai Mountain's about 1,500 meters high. You can see a video of us visiting Yunnan province. If you look through our tea trips playlist, you'll see a visit to Jingmai Mountain. Okay, so we've scoped the tea. Now let's taste it. I'm just gonna put the kettle on. So here I have 9 grams of the young Gushu. This is our Yixing clay teapot. If you haven't seen a video on this, there's videos of this as well. And so the first thing that I want to do is to take a look at the leaf. You can see the color of the leaf here. Just focus again. So dark green, khaki colored leaves, but once they're brewed, you're going to see that they change color quite significantly. So keep an eye on that. Just make sure I'm focused again. Here we go. Okay, so I've got the Yixing clay teapot. I've got a Gongdao Bei strainer, nice simple cup, and I've got a different little teapot here. You can see this one here is a little philosopher who's just lying there. I like to think that this philosopher is Lu Yu, the scholar of tea. Okay, so we now have boiling water, just boiled. I'm just going to heat up the Yixing clay teapot, just to get it ready for brewing, let it start expanding. And then we're going to put the 9 grams of tea in. These Yunnan pu'er teas, they've got quite big leaves, which make them a little bit fiddlier. I do apologize. If I had all the tea utensils here, I would scoop it in, but here you go. I think actually that probably 8 grams is enough here. So this is a hot pot now, so I just want to see if the warmth of the teapot is just going to bring out a little bit of the aroma of this tea. Now don't forget, this is a young pu'er tea. Pu'er tea means it's the heating process has not been hot enough that it's going to actually stop the oxidation process completely. So this will continue to age. So this tea is alive. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. Okay, so very floral. It's amazing. Every time I try this tea, it's different. So very floral, very sweet on the nose. So sweet grass, hay, but little bits of orchid as well. Okay, so let's give it a rinse. Very little foam on this. Pour that away. And let's strain this out. So if any of you are young pu'er lovers out there, please leave us a comment. Tell me what you think, what you like about young pu'ers. Okay, so I don't really like to smell the pot. It's far too steamy. Much nicer to smell the leaf. Okay, so let's pour some in the cup to warm it up. Give some to our lovely philosopher, and let's do our first brew and pour the rest of the tea over this pot. That just allows some of the tea oils to filter into the clay and hopefully start to develop a patina. This is a relatively new teapot for me, so it's still relatively uncured, but it is my pu'er teapot. Okay, here we go. This is a 200 ml pot, by the way, which is a nice size for drinking by yourself, but really great also for drinking with other people. Okay, so the smell, it's shifted from the sweetness. Now I'm getting a little bit more of the kind of fresh cut button mushrooms. So not mushroomy, still quite fresh, but those kind of, when you take a button mushroom, like a very mild mushroom, and you cut it in half, and you just get that lovely kind of fresh, fresh mushroom. Apple, green apple, but slightly young green apple, quite kind of unripe green apple. Okay, let's pour this wash away. And I will let you see the color of this tea, see, without burning myself. There you go. So you can see quite a vibrant color. I would say it's kind of an apple green, but slightly oxidized apple green, if that makes any sense. Let's give it a taste. Wow, the apple really comes through. It's quite amazing. So the texture and body of this tea is thick. It's thick tea. This is a Gushu, I forgot to mention. This is Gushu tea, which means it's ancient tea tree, which is really important. So this is from 500-year-old tea trees. Most Gushu starts at around 200, 300 years. So 500 is certainly well within the Gushu range, ancient tea trees. These are from semi-wild forests. We have tea which is much older, which comes from much older tea trees, but 500 years is still very old. And you can certainly notice that in the texture of the tea. It's thick, it's very thick, it's thick and viscous. But it's also got a really astringent finish. Now, some people find fresh or young pu'ers too astringent. And I agree, there's many young pu'ers that I've tasted that are overly astringent in my opinion. This tea hits the balance perfectly right. You get this beautiful astringency, this lovely dryness, and I'm starting to get that lovely throat sensation that I know will begin to transform into sweetness with more infusions. So thick, really lovely play of textures going on in the mouth. You get this thick, luxurious liquor and then this astringent dryness. You get apples, you get some kind of vanilla notes, there's the mushroomy notes, and there's a lingering, transforming bitterness that's happening from bitter to sweet, which is what you really want to look for in very good pu'er teas, this kind of transformation between bitter to sweet, and that's happening just with a few sips. So I'm going to continue to taste this tea, and then we'll come back and I'll let you know my tasting notes and how it makes me feel. Hey guys, this is infusion number 7, and I think it's better that I speak to you now rather than keep drinking because I'm starting to feel very tea drunk. This tea is potent stuff. This raw, young pu'er tea, what I love about young pu'ers from old tea trees is it's really raw, unapologetic, strong, potent tea. This is origin tea. This is really the original stuff that comes from the mountains of Yunnan. These tribes have been using tea not just for its taste and its rejuvenating effects, but also to sit down in session and get quite tea drunk. And this is certainly working on me right now. The flavor notes of this, I'm getting a lot of apple. That's one of the main components of this. Very little earthiness, slight kind of mushroominess, but mostly apple. You're getting, especially in the empty cup, a kind of vanilla malt warmth and a little bit of a kind of white pepper spiciness. And as the infusions go on, the tea starts to reveal slightly more savory notes, like a kind of celery notes, and just a little bit more of that interplay between sweet and savory. So kind of like a Waldorf salad, like apple and celery combination. It's a really nice combination. The texture of the tea is very thick. This is really thick tea, and it's almost brothy. You can see the color. This is the 7th infusion. I'll try and show it to you. You can see, oops, spilling it everywhere, that it's still giving a lot of strength, and I'm still just flash brewing, maybe 5 to 10 seconds brew with boiling water, and it keeps going. So I think that this is going to go for at least 10 infusions upwards, maybe slightly more. So it's got a lot going on in there, and that comes from the old tea trees, and you can see the leaves here. Let's see if I can show you these leaves. And something that you want to look out for when you're trying to buy pu'er tea is that beautiful, like olive green. Now remember the color of the leaves when they were dry. They were much darker, like very, very dark green, browns. So you can see how the color has shifted to this kind of dark olive green, which is very characteristic of Gushu or ancient tree pu'er. And very supple leaves as well, really thick and supple. So it's revealing the quality of the tea trees that it was picked from. The sweetness of this tea is amazing. The hui gan, anybody who likes pu'er tea, they're always looking for gan. Gan is something that when you experience, you'll understand it. It starts off usually in the throat. It starts off with a kind of dryness and bitterness in the throat, which starts to emerge into sweetness. And you get this lovely, sweet, minty, fresh, sweet fragrance coming up from the throat, and then it usually comes around the tongue, around the teeth. And my mouth now is filled with this beautiful sweetness that comes, this gun, this minty sweetness that comes from good raw pu'er tea. And one of the ways to accentuate that, little trick that I learnt in Yunnan, is just in between brews, just drink some water, just some plain water. And it's amazing how sweet that water is, because your mouth has been coated with the minerals that these old Gushu trees have been cultivating by their long, deep roots reaching levels of soil that other tea trees can't reach. They're filling up their leaves with these amazing minerals, which is coating your mouth. And when you drink the water tastes sweet. It tastes like somebody's put a spoonful of honey into the water. Amazing, amazing stuff. The feeling, as I said, this has gotten me quite high. And it's a very high feeling. It's very up. It's very, it's not something that I would recommend before bed. This is a tea to drink, to socialize, to go out and have a good time with your friends after drinking this tea. It's a very up tea. And this is a combination of the caffeine, of course, but also the L-theanine in here has really works on your brain chemistry and brings you to a place which is lovely, but quite drunk. So it's something that you kind of reserve for your sessions. It's made me feel a little bit like it's given me a kind of dewy feeling. So I'm starting to sweat a little bit, which is giving me a cooling sensation. So this is quite a cooling tea, quite up, quite high, and certainly a tea that I would love for you all to try. And I've been sharing with my friends because of this. This is young Gushu. Please, we've only purchased a small amount. The reason for that is because I want you to drink this fresh. This is not something that I want you to age. Drink this fresh. So I'm hoping that we will sell out by middle of 2016, and then we'll be getting some spring Gushu 2016 in. And we'll continue to try to bring in this young, fresh pu'er from old tea trees. I really believe that the young pu'er revolution needs to begin, and I'm hoping that this is the starting point for that. So go out and experience some young, fresh pu'er tea. And it has to be raw, young, fresh, raw pu'er tea. Go out and experience it. Okay, tea heads, if you made it to the end of this video, then please give it the thumbs up and check out our YouTube playlists. Let us know if there are any videos that you'd like us to make. If you're ever in London, then come and visit us in Camden to say hi and taste our wares. If you have any questions or comments, then please fire them over. Other than that, I'm Don May from Mayleaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from the tea bags, keep drinking the good stuff, and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.